Sup guys, it's desRow. I'm here today with HuK and Nathanias and hopefully Destiny at some point in the future to talk to you guys about StarCraft. This is February 3rd, episode 26. Let's do the intros. HuK, how are you?
I'm okay. Quiet morning. Just been practicing and whatnot. And doing pretty good, I guess.
Okay. What about you, Nathanias?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I had a somewhat productive day. I woke up pretty early, watched some streams, and I went food shopping. And by that I mean I got like 2 cans of tuna and a bag of apples. I'm happy.
Nice. For me, I started a tournament yesterday, and that was really stressful. And I got a lot of shit done, and hopefully
You started a tournament yesterday?
yeah, well,
Started a tournament.
well, I mean,
You announced.
yeah, I announced the tournament. Like I started doing everything for it yesterday. So anyway, tomorrow I'll be streaming from that point on until the rest of my life. All right, the show, the notes. You guys have the docs. So last weekend was IEM Taipei, which was in Taiwan, and the winner. Spoiler: please mute the VOD if please mute the VOD if you didn't watch the finals. The winner was Maru. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the player, the production, the hype, everything. Nathanias, what were your thoughts on the finals, just to begin with?
It was pretty good. The finals themselves were pretty hyped up. We didn't have one of those clean sweeps or anything like that. I enjoyed the tournament, especially the top 4, like overall. I don't really have much bad things to say. Maybe I would have wanted to see some better, longer games. The final game as well. I don't know how much spoilerino we want to go into, but I wish the final game, like if you had just swapped the final game with one of the longer games, and that was like the final game was like the epic struggle, then I would have been a little bit more. That would have been like perfect, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the 4-3, you can't really predict that. You can't get better than that. But yeah, HuK, did you watch the games?
A little bit. I when parting got dropped out, I kind of just had it on my second monitor instead of watching it full time. But overall, the tournament was like really, really stacked. Like one of the most stacked, or if not the most stacked IEM we've had in a really long time. Whenever you do an IEM in Asia, it seems to come out that way. I mean, I don't even think Snoop made it out of open bracket, even though he came very close. And then there was a lot of people that were favorites and didn't make it far. One thing I want to comment on, though, is that Hyun seems to be doing a lot better. Like, especially at the end of last year, he seemed like he was going down in skill, and he was just doing the same kind of shit every game. And now he seems to actually be doing better and better.
Yeah.
I think you said Maru.
Yeah, guys. All right.
All right.
Listen.
At least point it out so people don't think you're trying to cover it for yourself. I just in my head I didn't even realize that you said Maru one.
Yeah, I knew Life one too because he's a sicko, but rep. So we had Life win, and partying lose to Life was kind of sucky. That's nice that Hyun's making a comeback in your mind, Chris. Because it was
my mind.
Yeah.
Is it just not
My
true,
mind.
or?
I mean, just that's your opinion. I don't know, I'm not a Hyun or a Zerg expert, but it's nice that he's making a comeback because he had it so easy, living in Europe and so on and doing well. And
I think he's staying in the CJ house. I'm not sure, but
CJ.
yeah, I think he's staying in the CJ house.
Okay, nice. That's cool. But yeah, one thing that really stood out to me, at least for this IEM, was how good Maynard was.
Oh God.
At first, when
I'm like the no. I just love how you flip this case, because I was like, you should put in there that Mater was a really good caster, because I did like a shout out on Twitter before anybody really did shout outs, and I was like, desRow, you should put
gives a shout out.
yeah, and I did
No.
that shit, and then I'm like, put it in Remax. I think he deserves some credit. He did really good, and then you're like. Yeah, and another thing I want to talk about, Maynard, really good No. I told you to put that shit in there. Don't try to take credit for that.
But that's not the point, man. I agree with you. When I first heard him, I thought it was the Muslim. He sounds a little bit like the Muslim. Maybe is it
Those
just
accents.
me? Yeah.
Are you trying to objectify people from Australia?
No, it's just the sound, like the voice tone or whatever. It's not the accent.
Yeah, above everything else, he just seemed very passionate about the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it just seems like over time, casters just get burnt out, which is like
Yeah.
it's bound to happen if you cast a lot of games. and do
If you do
consistent
too much, yeah, if you do too much, like it gets really tough. I mean I don't want to like make this about me or whatever, but like Maynard doesn't have a lot of stuff to cast, being from Australia. There's not really events there. I know he and Zeph do the ACL, which is like a few nights every other month. It's not really, it doesn't happen a lot. And I believe they also did the Southeast Asia qualifiers for WCS. But outside of that, they really don't get a lot of opportunities, which definitely shows that, when he gets the chance, he really went ham with it, and I think it worked out for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think above all else, the passion level you bring to cast is like one of the most important things, because when it's obvious that you care and you're not just monotone or just like a lot of casters when they cast it, like very much seems to me like it's just a job to them and they're just trying to. It's like they're trying to get through it. They're not enjoying it, and he sounded like he really, really enjoyed it. And I mean, it helps obviously, like you said, he doesn't do that many events, but also this is probably the biggest event he's had. I would say. I don't know what else he's done.
He did an didn't he do Shenzhen last year? He's done it.
Oh yes.
He did one of the other
like
Asian IEMs.
one big event a year. It's still
basically one big event a year. I think in 2013 he was part of the launch event for Heart of the Swarm in Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's nice that he's coming out, because we haven't had a wave of like casters, professional casters in a while, so it's nice to see Maynard come back. One thing that I was thinking about is like when Nathanias, when I heard you cast Show versus Life, like that sort of passion, we heard Maynard have that, and then the same kind of goes for Apollo. Like he's had more passion in the past, and then if you like compare like Apollo. At the last DreamHack, like DreamHack Winter, when he had like no passion left after like casting for an entire year, and then compared to like someone like Maynard, it definitely factors in a lot, So I agree with you, HuK, there. You gotta sell the dream and you gotta believe in it too, and that was great. One thing that I don't like is every IEM tournament that's in Asia is stacked, but the schedule for viewership is so bad. It's like always in the middle of the night. There's no way around it.
Well, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I know.
This is the standard desRow Dreamer argument that you just can't.
There is no Chinese international esports arena that is open 24/7. Is because the way that the event was like a 5-day, expo or whatever. So they're forced, of course, to go along with that. So they're not gonna stream so late into the night that it actually ends up being a good time for Europeans to tune in, because I think like something like the venue closes something like 6 or 7 their time. So there's only so much you can do. I don't know. That's that's the real world, man. We need an esports arena in every country that holds events that's open 24/7. That's the real dream.
All right. Moving on. Your next point, HuK, before I just call it my own and you slap me on the wrist. The Chinese audience in the StarCraft 2 market seems to grow, but then again, there are a lot of people, so I mean, it's like it's the bigger pie. It's like a small slice of a bigger pie instead of a.
Yeah, of course, but it's the fact that it's growing instead of shrinking. Where like, the foreign scene is maybe even bigger still, but it's been shrinking over time. Where I feel like in Pro League and GSL and all those leagues, especially Pro League, and then even this IEM, the numbers are growing. And of course, there's a lot of fraudulent numbers. Like tournaments always like to cite Chinese numbers just because their version of Twitch or whatever is actually like very, very inflated. Mm-hmm. So some of the numbers are very inaccurate, but overall. In China, Taiwan, and Korea, it seems like StarCraft 2 is doing better and better over time, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just imagine if like China had their own WCS. Well, they do, but like their own like full league. Because one of the reasons Taiwan has been doing so well is because the TESL, they have a lot of budget, they have a lot of good players, they have a few Koreans, it's a long league, and they really thrive And Arstem on a previous show, I think like episode 1 or 2 or 3, told us how it went down, and he had a lot of fun playing there. So maybe sometime this year they'll have more foreigners, because in the past they had Sase, they had Harstem, they had Suppi. Maybe they
QXC?
can. QXC played?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really nice because they like put you in a team house and everything, and the team houses are pretty good. I mean, like nothing luxurious, but like the standard team house that you see in Korea as well. So, and then in Taiwan they speak a lot better English than Koreans. So
that's always nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always awkward to like have to do sign language, or not sign language, but body language, point, nod, smile. That's
Is it? Are they that much better in Taiwan with the English? I
Yes.
didn't actually know that. That's cool.
Yes, it is.
Wanna go?
I wonder why though. Do you have any?
What it usually comes down to is one, education, two, how often they dub movies and TV shows. Even in European countries, that's a huge thing. You know, if a European country like Sweden, everybody speaks really good English. You go to France, they don't speak good English.
Watch movies in English. They don't dub the movies in Sweden, but in like Germany and France, they dub the movies.
So in Korea, it's always in Korean, and in Taiwan, a lot of the TV shows and movies are in English, and they don't dub it. So that's a huge part of it, as well as education, obviously.
So what you're saying is because Korea has more money to dub the movies, then they're getting fucked with their English.
Has nothing. Sweden has more money than like everybody, and they don't dub their shit. So it's just it's a choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a cultural thing.
Yep.
All right. Next topic, guys. EG part ways with the Muslim. Damn. So the Muslim went about it kind of weird. So like last week he removed all the overlay on Twitter's, and then he streamed that same day and he was like, "Hey guys, don't worry, I'm still on EG." And then people were like questioning, you know, and then turns out, you know, at the end of the month, contract runs out, and EG part ways with the Muslim. What are your thoughts as a teammate of the Muslim, HuK?
Well, I can speak on this a little. I don't know if I'm allowed to or not, but I'll do like a little bit of real talk. Basically, what it come down to is, I think Alex from EG wanted to release a statement, you know, saying that they're parting ways, and they had already agreed that they're parting ways, and Alex was taking longer than Ben wanted, basically. And it wasn't like Ben was unreasonable. He wasn't like, okay, you got 2 days to release this statement, and then you know, if you don't, I'm just gonna announce it myself. But it was a little bit longer. Alex still didn't release the statement. He's a busy guy, so I guess at some point the Muslim just said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna just do it myself since you're not going to. So, and that's what happened. As far as go ahead.
That sucks. Like,
yeah.
if because you're like when you're in the shoes of the Muslim, obviously you want people to know that you're a free agent like as soon as possible, so that like the team owners start thinking about possibly acquiring you. So the longer you wait,
yeah, but at the same time, Alex wasn't fucking him over. It wasn't like Alex is saying like, we're not going to pay you, but don't announce that you're leaving. He was like saying like, up until, you know, this extended amount of time, we'll still pay you your last year's contract amount, which was basically more than the new offer. So it wasn't like he was getting destroyed or anything. But at the same time, of course, yes, if you're already knowing that you're gonna leave, you want to get the announcement out there, so you know you start getting offers and people, you know, start offering you stuff, weighing your options and whatnot. As far as him leaving, it's just I mean, the thread that went up, people had a pretty good idea. He's a EU player. His results haven't been the strongest, but he's like a very good streamer, and he's very entertaining. He gets really good numbers. He gets better numbers than me, admittedly. Maybe even better than Jaedong when he does stream.
Yeah, but that's a problem. He's been really inconsistent, so that probably hurt the offer that EG gave him.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, I obviously wish Ben the best, and I hope he finds a good sponsor, good home, good team, whatever.
What about you, Nathanias, since you lived with him?
I guess I'd heard similar things about, like, I kind of, you know, like it wasn't it was in the making for a little bit, but I don't know that it wasn't something I really thought about too much, because I asked him, like, you know, if he was going to be okay or whatever, and he seemed pretty positive, so I'm not really concerned. Like, I guess it was a kind of, you know, from a team perspective. Obviously, there are things that you want to have out of your players. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I know Ben plays a lot, practices hard, and he's a really good guy. So it's I wasn't really thinking about it. Like when the announcement was made, I was like, okay, I guess like they finally announced it, but I wasn't really like, blown away.
I don't know. It feels weird to to want to part ways with AG. You know, even if they lower your contract, like.
Yeah, but it depends. Like where I can't comment on what the contract was, but where would that number be for you? And before you even say anything, and we've never discussed this before, even off the show, I guarantee what you think he got offered is he probably got offered less than what you're thinking, whatever it is.
I'm thinking like if I got offered 1K in the shoes of the Muslim with the amount of streaming that I've done and the fact that I didn't make WCS Challenger. I'd take maybe 6 months and try to renegotiate after 6 months because like the EG brand kind of brings like a good aura to him, you know. If he goes on a team, if he goes like on a Russian team that pays him like after like stealing pigs or whatever, like you don't know like how stable any other EU team will be since they're all on the like Ero's hype train and so on, you know. So I don't know. I wish him the best, and obviously it was a tough decision to make. Like I'm saying that. And I'm not the Muslim, I'm not on his shoes, I don't have the experience that he has with contracts and team offers. He's been around for a while, you know, with Warcraft 3 and so on, so I'm sure he'll be able to find something that suits him, and he'll stick around for a while. But anyway, alright. What? Alright.
Why are you laughing?
the reaction to chat about my stupid comments. They're always priceless. Alright. So the next topic, do we do this?
What's the next topic? You don't know if we should do it? Or?
I know, it's more like, I was hoping that because we're going kind of fast at this point, because we don't have
Steven.
We don't have Steven to rant.
Pseudo-intellectual debate about whether or not the Muslim left EG because he doesn't care about money. He just wants a team he can be friends with in Europe, and he's all alone in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yo, did we talk about this? Someone told me that he's gonna be playing in. I don't know if this is announced. I don't know. I've heard some interesting things though. Hang on. Let me just make sure. Someone mentioned something very interesting to me.
By the way, guys, if you have any questions on Reddit, you can go check out the thread, leave a comment. We'll be answering near the end of the show, so that's about in 1 hour. Give or take, depending on the topics. Nathanias, you have something for us?
In a little bit, maybe.
Alright. Or you can use
What is he looking up? Something about the Muslim,
or you can ask your question on Twitter, the hashtag SC2Remax. Hashtag sellout.
Yeah. I don't know. I think in general, the Muslim's going to be okay. The biggest thing is whenever someone leaves a big team, like when Idra left EG, is like, okay, are you retiring or you're not retiring? And I'm pretty sure Ben plans on playing for at least another year. I know he probably wants to play Legacy of the Void, and I don't know. He like whenever you get good enough numbers on streams, it always seems viable that you can make income off of it. I mean, if you're hitting 2 or 3K consistently, I think you're fine.
Yeah, I think if anything, the Muslim leaving EG is good for the scene because that's gonna motivate the Muslim to stream more since he's not getting a paycheck from EG. So the community will benefit from having the Muslim stream more and entertain them. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Yeah, so what I found is the qualifier information for it at least is public, and apparently he was allowed to sign up. But the Muslim is he's still playing. I know, like aside from like the streaming and stuff, I believe he signed up for the eSport SM qualifier because he lives in Sweden now. So apparently he can compete for the Swedish national championship.
Wow, that's like
there's so much money there.
There's
like,
so much money in Sweden. Yeah, it's like that would be more than his EG contract maybe last year if he won that.
The amount of money in the Swedish national championships, etc.
It's always
like
been
so
insane.
high.
And I'm so salty about it.
It was basically a cakewalk for ThorZaIN and Naniwa. Like
ThorZaIN last year was like retired, never played, picked up the game for like a week or two.
Still won like $8,000 last year off of it, which is pretty sick. So. Like I think Naniwan has made like 30K plus off of that tournament. Probably a lot more from like over the years, but like the yearly prize pool on that is actually disgusting.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up.
I'm so salty about that tournament.
Yeah, we have nothing in Canada, man.
I've done like vlogs purely based off of that tournament.
So ThorZaIN picked up the game last year. He finished second. He made $4,000. And then the
Yeah.
year before that, he finished second versus Naniwa, and he made $5,000.
Yeah, it's like an easy, and then there's like qualifiers to the main tournament that you get paid for too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like subletted tournaments into. Anyways, we're kind of getting off subject, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that money alone.
So we know Muslim's still competing. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously not against the same caliber player that he would play in otherwise, but it's there's a lot of money that he could still potentially make playing StarCraft.
All right, I rearranged the doc to try to keep some topics for if Damas or Winter or Destiny replies to me on Skype. Rain, My Insanity Rain speaks about his experience as a B-teamer and SKT. Now, you've all heard the rumors of, B-teamers having to, like, mop the floor on their knees, like fucking Cinderella, trying to live the dream.
Yeah,
but-
my first experience with this was when MC told me when I first went to Korea about how he hated Kespa teams, and if Kespa teams ever came into StarCraft 2, he would never join a Kespa team no matter how much they offered him. Because the story he told me was like when he came to the team house, they wanted him to shave his head. He was like cleaning like 5 to 10 hours every day, barely practicing. Just doing like stupid chores and like whatever. And at first I was like, wow, that really sucks. But now it kind of makes more sense. It's kind of like, when you go into the army and you go to basic training, whatever.
Discipline.
Yeah,
Discipline.
they want to break you down too. They want to shave your head, show you like you haven't earned anything here, and they want to put you through that training, kind of, humble you to make sure that you're going to have a psychological breakdown and then, be able to build you up from the ground up as far as like what they want to instill in you as far as like practice regiments, how you view the game, how you view your teammates, the environment, the team house, and everything like that. So this interview was I mean, it didn't go into super depth about it, but it definitely helped me understand more about what happens from that aspect.
Mm-hmm. So some of the things said in the interview, the cutting the hair, having to clean, having to do tasks for A-teamers. I wonder what were those, Just be like, I need my
Are
laundry.
you turning this sexual or?
No,
Hey,
no.
I need someone to answer the door for my delivery McDonald's. In
No,
Korea.
but like, can you like fucking reorganize my laundry? I have to go practice, and then you like.
It would probably be stupid shit. They'd be like, I want a drink from, the corner store. Can we get a B teamer do that? It would be the same thing. We had it in the OJS house. It was like, if you were younger or you weren't as good, you would be basically the bitch in some ways to go like, someone needs to go get ice cream for the whole team. So, MC's going to throw at them like, 30 USD or so, and they're going to say, go get that ice cream. And you're not going to disagree with MC because he was winning everything. He's the shit in OGS. He's older than you in some cases, all that shit. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, and there's also like I think it was like Effort that was saying like they kicked B teamers for being too ugly back in Boudoir. Man, these Kispa people, man, they're cutthroat,
Well, I mean that's a normal thing, in
From
esports.
what I've heard about the culture there, I don't know. It doesn't seem too surprising to me.
Yeah, we had a chubby member in OGS, and his nickname was Piggy, like literally Piggy. And he wasn't like really big or anything, and everybody just called him Piggy. That was the thing. It's like, yeah, it's very normal to make fun of people because they're ugly or not attractive. Even I saw Jessica making fun of, I think it was Ryung, and she was just like calling him ugly, and then like calling like Coca or something like very pretty and very handsome, and it was just like, oh, that's so fucking awkward. Can you not do that? But even in Western teams, like I know for a fact, EG will pick up more attractive players,
Yeah, but
look-wise,
it's not like super open as much as it is. I don't know. Like
I think the as far as calling someone ugly, yeah, it's inappropriate, but it's still the same, corporate mindset. You want someone that's very marketable.
Yeah.
So a Bisu is going to be way more marketable than an Effort. No offense to Effort,
Right.
but that's just the way it is. But overall, I thought this interview was pretty good. So I wanted to do like a little shout out Sky. I don't think you know her too well, desRow, but I know
What?
Nathanias.
No, I do, but
Oh.
we had some complications because of
Oh.
mutual
What happened?
former friend.
God.
This is.
desRow.
Oh.
Oh,
Wait, what? Am I thinking of W?
what?
Who are we talking about here? A mutual friend.
Oh, we're just gonna
Is he-
move on.
Let's move on.
No.
I don't want to get bullied on Twitter anymore. All right.
Can you just message me? But this is Remax. But
Yes.
anyways, just message me on Skype. But
This
and-
isn't unfiltered, HuK.
Yeah, that's true.
What? One day we'll be there, man. We just need like 40 Reddit accounts.
Well met.
Chan man. Even still, I really like.
Yeah, she
these
does like
interviews.
really good work, but she's taking like a 2-month vacation in like Vietnam or something.
Yeah, but she did this interview from there.
She did this
so
interview
I don't.
like
Okay.
like right before she left. Yeah.
So I don't. I think she's doing more. But anyways, people are always complaining about the lack of content and stuff. But
Yeah. This
In
was a
general-
really good interview. This was much
Yeah.
better than the trite. I'll just say trash we usually get. Like, hey, how did you feel about this tournament you won? Oh, it was really hard. I'm happy I won and impressed my fans. Oh, how did you get into esports? Oh, I was good at this game and figured I'd try to be better at it. It's like, yay, great interview. No one really cares.
I understand now better, desRow.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
alright.
I do. That
Alright.
makes perfect fucking sense.
Yeah, Ripperino.
And it's also like a lot of people say Koreans don't have like a lot of personality and stuff, but when you get, because I assume she got what's his name, the Korean guy, Hun.
Hoon. Yes.
To
Yeah,
to
Inu.
translate this
Inu.
or help at least.
Inu.
Yeah.
Inu's Acer. Yeah, the Acer guy.
Yep. Yeah.
So seeing like a lot of Korean players' personality is a lot better.
I feel like, alright, so here's the thing about Korean interviews. Anytime there's a Korean website, we'll do like an interview on Flash or something like that, like a piece, like a good piece. You'll always get like interesting answers, their mindset and everything. And every time you have, except Sky, I guess, so far, every time you have like a foreign site doing interviews on Korean, it's always so fucking boring. So,
Okay.
props to her.
It's also important to look at the questions being asked.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
people are way more focused on the answers than the questions. Like anybody that's ever had to like write interviews and like this is stuff we did like in law. Like it's all about asking the right questions. Like you're not gonna get that shit out of Rain if you ask and be like, so it's like, it's like, what were your struggles getting into esports and stuff like that's not like I don't know.
It's also if you have a personal relationship too. I don't know how good Hoon is with Rain, but Rain being on a foreign team, and I'm sure Penguin could say like Rain, you need to do this interview, like give really good answers, or be yourself, blah blah blah.
Yes.
Where when you're on a Kespa team, you're always supposed to be like very reserved and conservative, or more so. But like I can imagine Smix, James, anybody else that spent a lot of time with the Koreans, if you like ask them to do an interview and you ask these more personal questions, they're going to be more likely to answer honestly than just to say I don't want to answer that if they're comfortable with the interviewer. So.
Oh, Maynard's happy on Twitter. But he's
Okay.
still not following me, so rip. Alright.
Rip the dream.
Yes,
The dream is dead.
Yes, the dream is dead. Alright, let's go for this one. Zotac EU closes down. So for those that didn't know, Zotac is a graphics card company. They've been running weekly tournaments since the beginning of StarCraft 2. They were running $100 tournament back in Warcraft 3. They're now running weekly tournaments for Hearthstone and possibly Heroes. I'm not 100% sure on that last one. Point is, they're done with StarCraft. The biggest, and they closed their NA Cups a year ago because there was not a lot of signups. Of course, every Korean finished top 2 for those NA Cups, so did that have an impact? Who knows? The biggest problem to me is that they were competing with Go for a C2 on Sunday every time, so that obviously hurt their numbers of sign up because it's really stressful to play 2 cups at once. You always get an asshole that tries to DQ you, and then you try to fight him off and argue, and it just never gets anywhere. They had a monthly final, which was pretty cool. I think Base Rate casted them a bunch, but yeah, they're shutting down. So before we move on to the next part of that topic, what are your thoughts, HuK? Did you play any Zotac NA back then?
I mean, back in the day I did, but not anytime recently. It was just it was like a big hassle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of the good cups were on EU, and it was like really, really early in my time. I think even if you're like East Coast, it's like maybe 6 or 5 a.m. You probably know better than I do, desRow. So it was really early, and then you gotta imagine like if you have another tournament that doesn't start until like 6, 7 p.m. or you don't have WCS until the next day, that probably is gonna start like 9, 10 p.m. going to 12 maybe. You don't want to, be messing up your sleep schedule just to wake up at 6 a.m. to play in a tournament that you're going to have to play for like 6 hours on and off while you wait for opponents. And I don't know, it was just a big hassle, to be honest. Not that I don't think it can be done, but most of the tournaments were EU, so for me it was kind of pointless. Cross-server, really early in the morning, ruins your like normal sleep schedule. It's just not fun.
What about you, Nathanias? Did you play Zotac NA or EU?
Yeah, of course. I had the pleasure of getting Shrek'd plenty of times.
Yeah.
I mean, I never really. I feel like there was never really any, like, they put the cups out, but there's nothing like I never felt personally connected to the Zotac cups at all. I never felt like there was some sort of ambassador of the tournament or the organization that worked with the community to fix things like you said, having them at the same time. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't shut it down earlier because it didn't really seem like they were doing anything that would allow them to really get something out of it. But,
Mm-hmm. And obviously, when something dies, something comes to life. Me and Lycan, what the fuck? Me and Lycan have announced that we're starting 2 different weekly cups. I'm really biased, so HuK, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, but what the fuck do you think you are, Harry Potter and the Rising Phoenix or something? Making some random from the dust analogy. Yeah, what do you want me to say? desRow is doing a cup, Lycan's doing a cup. It's probably similar money. I think you guys want to do like $50, $100 or some shit, right?
No, it's $100 per cup, and
Okay.
200 monthly final.
For yours?
Yeah, for both.
Okay, so you guys want to compete on the talk shows, and now you want to compete on the weekly tournaments, I guess, which is good for you guys. I don't know why you guys want to compete so bad, but you do. I don't know. I think it's nice. It depends how well they're run. Right now, for both you, I'm kind of looking at it and being like, well, let's see how bad they fuck up first. Consistency is going to be a key. Quality of production is going to be a big thing. If Base Trade's doing, the casting for one of these, it's probably going to pull in a lot of good numbers. I think yours is NA and his is EU, or his is cross server or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think doing the cross server is too messy. It either has to be EU or NA. It's too messy to do cross server rules for just a small weekly cup. So I don't know. We'll see. It's really hard to say at this point.
Yeah, so my cup's already announced. It's going to be every Saturday at 6 p.m. Anyone can come play. I'll be having a different co-caster every
NA?
week. Yes, NA. I'll be having a different co-caster every week. It's going to be running for 6 months. It's a fan giving me the money, and he's paying me like $50. So it's either going to be paying myself or paying a co-caster. And yeah, I already have tempo for this weekend. I'm going to try to get Nathanias, going to try to get HuK. Livy B is agreed. Zombie Grub, Winter. It's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be, Saturday night, NA. Koreans are allowed for now. If it hurts the amount of signups, I'll tell them to fuck off. Until then...
wow, you're willing to ban Koreans? Sick.
I mean, it depends on the sign-up amount, If, Koreans win for, a month in a row and it hurts the sign-ups, I just want more people to play, So... So yeah, that's the information. That's the little sellout segment. But yeah, Zotac EU, thank you for spending all that money, all that time, and good luck in Heroes and Hearthstone.
Yeah. I think this is a really good thing because, in my opinion, having people in the community that are active with the community running these sorts of tournaments makes it much easier to get the kind of returns that you're looking for. Because I've been speaking with a couple of sponsors for the last few months about getting some stuff arranged, and I've been kind of alluding, I'm going to be announcing some shit this month or whatever. But most people, especially sponsors, don't realize like how cheap you can get a lot of people to sign up and play like these small weekly cups and types of things. And I think having someone like desRow, you being out there, like you can promote this more. Like the people from Zotac, there was like very little effort ever put to promote these tournaments on like Reddit or anything. It was always the caster who was like, hey guys, we're doing this tournament. And obviously it's really good for base trade because they've built their brand enough that people will watch them so they can still profit off of it. But it's not as big as it would be if it was base trade TV's weekly tournament, Mm-hmm. So I think in that regard, there's a lot more potential for the other avenues of getting sponsorships for these cups rather than having the cups paid for like by a company that isn't really trying to build anything off of it. I think there's a lot more room for these sort of things to grow. I was considering setting up something similar myself, but it's obviously a lot of work and it's difficult to get the right people in place. I look forward to seeing both of these cups because I think they're both going to end up better as long as they keep going better than the Zotac or Go for SC2s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. It really helps. Lycan, obviously, with base trade should have a lot of success, but base trade have their hands full, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. Always competition is good, even though it's stressful, and then you end up not sleeping until.
I love this. 2015, the year of desRow versus Lycan.
Oh, fuck me. Alright, fucking, where the fuck is fucking Destiny, fucking motherfucker?
He's with his little son.
Yeah, I know.
He's being a good father.
Yeah, he decided to be Dad of the Year today. Why not tomorrow?
This is like that movie, okay, where the dad has to go, do his big job, like misses the giant corporate meeting so that he can go see his son's piano, rehearsal, okay? He's just trying to be a good guy.
Have you seen what fucking Nathan does? All he does is put fucking scotch tape on Destiny's face. I've never seen him do anything creative aside that.
If my father spammed dank memes instead of taking me to the park, I'd do that shit to him too.
Alright. Chris, do you have any Brood War custom sound mod, alright?
What the fuck was that? You're like, Chris, do you have any StarCraft Brood War custom mod? What's going on in your head?
Do you see the Google Doc? All these topics, I'm just praying that Destiny comes back to life. Because
I know. I see you repositioning things.
Yes, alright.
It's not going to work out, I think. But we'll see. Maybe go on for like a 20-minute break and 15 minutes. Spam that 3-minute commercial.
Alright. So someone came up with the StarCraft Brood War sound mod. Now, for those that don't know, back in Wings of Liberty, there was a way to change the sound files. I don't know how the fuck they did it. I don't know if it was the MPQ or...
You could directly edit the MPQs, and as long as it wasn't any... Like, for some reason, you were able to do this, and you wouldn't get banned for it as long as you didn't mess with anything, like, as long as you didn't actually, like, mess with, like, shit that was important or whatever. Like, for some reason, people never got banned doing, like, the color mod. Even though you could theoretically, like, bork shit to make certain units easier to see or stand out, compared to others. But yeah, it was doable for a while. When they switched the client, like, because the launcher used to be this big giant thing with a giant fucking orange button at the bottom center. When they switched it over so that you could, play the game without having it fully installed, it started to check. It checks all the files and verifies them every time the game boots up. So that's why doesn't work anymore.
I see. So someone made a map where you can play any race with the old sound. So I don't know, like, if they have, like, literally everything. I don't know if, like, some of the new units, like the Oracle, it probably still has the Oracle sound, but, the Carrier, the Hydralisk, the Marine, the Zealot, it's all Brood War sound. So if you want to have a nostalgia trip, if you want to put your nostalgia goggles, all you have to do is go on Battle.net and use that. And HuK, do you miss the StarCraft 1 sound?
I mean, when I hear it, it's nice, it's pleasing, but that should be obvious to anyone that played Brood War. I think anything that's like new, or you're revisiting it, but it's still new, is going to be interesting and fun. In general, I always our strength from the Brood War sounds. Like, I don't know, it's just like all the sounds seem more impactful than StarCraft 2 sounds. StarCraft 2 sounds are kind of more softer. But that could also be a double-edged sword, I storm and I hear the Brood War storm and I think it's going to do a lot of damage, and then roaches just burrow and they aren't damaged, and I'm just like, well, didn't change shit, so we'll see, I guess.
What are your thoughts on, could this be possibly a microtransaction option for Legacy of the Void, Nathanias?
It should be. It should be possible to get something like this. The only reason why I could see Blizzard being hesitant is they're like, well, all the units aren't direct ports. I don't care. I want at least some of them, if I can pick that if it's part of my Zealot. Imagine if there's like some slightly shittier looking Marine skin that when you select it, it makes your Marines have those noises and stuff. Like, I'm only thinking about this because, like, the Marine attack sound in Brood War was so it was like it was like such a deep sound. I don't know, like more visceral, I think is the way most people would look at it. Like, it was a lot more, well, I guess the usual way that people say it is it's like a lot more dark, the theme of the game. I kind of like that. Just if I had the old Marine sound back, I'd feel like they're twice as OP as they already are.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, guys. This is the part of the show where we're going to take a small little break. It's not going to be long, I promise. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just hit the Reddit thread. Like, I'm just looking at your face and I'm dying over here. Alright, so the Reddit thread, the questions on Twitter, we'll be back in 3 minutes. Thank you.
We'll be back when Destiny's back. Bye.